So does the Hull C work yet? Let's find out. I had intermittent success with this in 4.0, but 4.01 is out and there's been a couple of hot fixes, so let's see where the Hull C stands. I've actually owned this ship since just before it launched, back before the price increase. I allowed myself to have two ships, one everyday runabout and a larger ship so I can have access to the wider gameplay loops. The irony here, though, is of course that the Hull C has only ever worked consistently for the very first patch that it dropped in, which I think was 3.18, 3.17, I don't know. If it was 3.18, you remember that debacle, and so I'm surprised it worked at all. So let's jump in. Let's find out, does the Hull C actually work now, or is it time to melt this ship? Which I don't really want to do, because I really, really love this ship. So there are a couple of options with this ship. You can always just go get your own cargo, but then you're putting your own money at risk, and if the ship doesn't load, if the cargo system isn't working, then you're out the cash. So for this test, we're going to be running the hauling missions. Running one mission, it might work, it might not, but if it works, that's not a gauge of whether or not the system is working itself, because you might just have gotten lucky. It might just have gone through for whatever reason. Who knows? So how we're going to gauge this is, if I can run 3 missions successfully in a row, we're going to call this a working mechanic. Fingers crossed, because I really want to use this ship. Okay, here we go. Blast off. I'm going to save you the pain of enduring the slow boating out of atmosphere, which incidentally goes a lot faster if you raise the landing gear. I mean, sometimes you just forget. So for hauling missions with cargo services attached to them, you really want the interstellar missions. There's maybe 1 or 2 others you can pull, but if you're looking for interstellar in that huge long list of hauling missions, you can spot that a little easier, I find. And you'll know they'll be going from Lagrange Station to the gateways, which all have the cargo services and docking ports. So to get near the missions, you want to be somewhere within range, so I figured I'd just jump over to Virginia and see what hauling missions are available. If there's one, I can run from there to another Lagrange point, but it turns out I just kept overshooting because quantum travel isn't quite working right. And no matter what I tried to try and get to Virginia, like since I was here at ArcCorp, I just kept like overshooting it every single time. It was incredibly frustrating. Eventually I just gave up and said screw it and jumped to Everest. When it's collapsed, this is actually a very nimble ship, which is no surprise given the size and spread of those thrusters on the back of this bad boy. Expanded, different story. Expanded, you're dealing with a much longer ship, and I can't remember, but I believe it's coming close to like 200 meters when it's expanding. It's one of the largest ships in the game when it's expanded. They used to actually list that detail, but they don't anymore. Not sure why. Probably because it was competing with the 890 for the longest ship in the game. I don't think they wanted that. I think currently the Polaris is the longest ship in the game. One thing's for sure is that when it's got a full load, it's sure as hell one of the heaviest ships in the game, so it's like trying to fly a warehouse. Once I'm at Everest, I pull up a simple hauling mission, go to Terra Gateway to drop off some cargo. This is a medium junior mission. No big deal. Should be quick and easy. Contacting cargo services, sometimes this takes a couple of tries before it actually goes through. And you might find yourself just contacting and waiting, and just close out the comms and try it again. I found that if you're not getting cargo services on the horn, sometimes it helps to reposition your ship, maybe get a little closer in on the ring of the station. All right, let's go ahead and try this again. Pick up comms. Cancel out the old call, which you have to do twice. Go. And let's try it. Oh, yes. Son of a bitch, it worked. There we go. Oh, sweet. All we need to do now is ease it into place and open the spindles. Having no trouble finding my way around the dark, I typically use reshade. Unashamedly, I use reshade. You can't tell me 1,000 years in the future there's no night vision. Alright, we're in position, but it's telling me that I am not in position. It tells me I need to be sitting still, which I 100% am, completely stationary right now. Okay, so we're going to reposition this ship. This is a game of workarounds. Sometimes you just have to wiggle the key in the lock a little bit. Or at least so my wife says. Yep. Holy shit, sweet baby Jesus, that actually worked. There we go, cargo on board. So far, so good. Let's make this delivery. Alright, so we made it. So now, after a little bit of finagling and a few calls to the cargo center, I finally got through and boom, there we go. Drop-off point. Let's get in there. There it is. Mission complete. I can't tell you how happy this made me. All we need to do now is get out of the drop-off area so we don't end up with the crime staff for trespassing. While I'm here, I'll go ahead and set up a couple more missions. I kind of like this Everest to Terra run. No one ever actually really comes out to the Terra Gateway, so you kind of by yourself out here, which is nice. But, what is that? Oh my god, it's another Hull C. You know, the description of these ships says it's the most common ship in the verse, but you rarely ever actually see one out in the wild. Maybe somebody tested it out. Maybe it's actually just another content creator getting some beauty shots. Oh, there he goes. Jumped to quantum. All right. Here we go. All we need to do now is just run the next two missions and see if this works out, and hopefully it'll be okay. there we have it. All 3 hauling missions actually completed. I was over the moon happy about this. So long as the next hotfix or 402 doesn't break something, then I'm calling this a working mechanic. I wanted to take the test a little further, so I ended my run in the Pyro gateway, and we're going to go to Pyro and see how these hauling missions work there. I did experience a glitch. When all the missions were done, I ended up with a few derelict boxes that were stuck to my spindles, so I couldn't close them. So when I had to do the jump, I had to do it with the spindles out, even though I had no cargo. If you're wondering about going through the tunnel with a large ship if you haven't done it yet, the tunnel actually scales relative to the size of your ship, so going through, the experience of flying is basically the same. And despite the size of the ship with the spindles extended, it's actually pretty easy to fly it through here. Getting through the gate and getting into position, I was pretty happy. I was excited about going through Pyro with this, but then I was in for a surprise. Get the mission tab pulled up and I go through, and I see there's only one hauling mission. And I think, oh, that's kind of weird. And I look at it and I realize it's the first haul in Pyro mission, which I've done about 3 times, but I keep getting mission resets and rep resets ever since 4.0 dropped, and I've done this one enough that it's unnecessary. I also realized I can't do this mission at the Hull C, so now I'm kind of out of luck. There was good news, and it turns out that going through the jump gate actually cleared my spindles, so I had some trash containers on there that were stuck and wouldn't go away, and now they're gone and I can close the spindles and fly the ship normally. That's a win. I figured I'd fly back to Stanton and park my ship at the Pyro gateway. I always like to set myself up for my next session, so when I log back in, I don't have to spend 25, 35, 40 minutes fiddling about trying to get myself ready just to start playing the game. It would also seem I spoke too soon about being able to fly the ship through easily, because despite having a relatively good run, I thought I actually failed the jump and ended out in the middle of nowhere. Tragically, at this point, I was afflicted with some kind of HUD glitch. I tried to get down to my seat, tried powering my ship down, tried a few different things, but whatever I tried, I couldn't get back to the Pyro gateway because I couldn't route to it, and my quantum drive, for whatever reason, I wasn't getting any waypoints on screen. There's typically a simple fix to these issues, and that's just to go upstairs and bed log, which I'm going to do here. We have to bring the radio menu up so you can lie down, because the first option with the bed is sit, obviously. After I log back in, I get back in the saddle. And good news is that this time my quantum drive works, so I'm able to jump back to the Stanton gateway. Unfortunately, I found out on approach to the gate that my quantum drive wasn't working anymore, so I had no interface to actually get through the gate, which kind of sucks. So I guess I'm logging out in Stanton, rather the Stanton gateway, but that's okay. I actually wanted to test out to see if the docking feature was working anyway. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but in this current hotfix, let's find out. So after eventually achieving perfect alignment, I couldn't get it to dock, I couldn't get the camera to operate, I couldn't get it to auto dock, nothing was actually working. It was lined up. I can tell you what does work, accidentally contacting the landing services and having them retract the dock gate, which, since you've been here for a very long time, automatically means you've been trespassing for way too long. And so, yep, there I am. But where'd the gate go? It's gone. All retracted. So now I got to figure something else out. Maybe I can get him to pull the gate back out if I contact him. Oh, what? Oh, no, there we go. Problem solved. It just put me inside the station. All right, we're going to call this a day. All in all, we've got kind of a mixed bag here. I'd say the mechanics of the hauling missions are working just great with the Hull C, and that's good news. But it's a little glitchy, it's a little buggy, and honestly, because of all the stuff that happened at the end, if I'd wanted to continue playing and keep trading, I couldn't have. I was basically done. It's in good shape. It's not there yet. Fingers crossed for the future. Remember to tell me how stupid I am in the comments. Like and subscribe for more videos to hate. Thanks for watching, and remember, I'm not a real doctor.